Hello, everybody, and welcome to Paragade After Hours. I am your host, Joe, and this is usually the podcast where we talk about any sort of nerd shit, video game shit, while drinking some form of liquid, some of which usually gets us intoxicated. This week, I am joined by my co-host, Mael.
Hello.
So, Mael.
Yes.
Today,
Uh-huh.
we decided, or rather you decided.
No, I was the one that decided.
Yes, this was like an executive decision from you that we must go to Taco Bell.
Yes, so, rite of passage of all poor 20-something gamers is to, go to Taco Bell, when they release something brand new, and I think eventually we'll get to talking about what they came out with, but, we're currently drinking our fountain drinks from Taco Bell, but of course we add a little bit of Don Q citrus rum to them, so I've got Diet Pepsi that no longer tastes like Diet Pepsi, so it's fantastic, because I usually like Diet Dr. Pepper, but they don't have that, so...
Nah.
Diet Pepsi with Don Q, and you got that Baja Blast.
Oh, yes, the Baja Blast. You know, like, clearly we are also sponsored by Baja Blast because I will go to hell and back to tell everybody how much I love Baja Blast.
Which means that he's a psychopath.
And also, when you add Don Q to it, it basically tastes just like Baja Blast.
Yeah, that's the thing that concerns me most about Baja Blast, is that you can add so many different types of alcohol to it, and you cannot taste it.
You can't.
Vodka, tequila, rum, you can't taste it.
It's the ultimate mixer.
It's a dangerous, dangerous weapon.
Oh, it's so great. So anyway, this week, we're going to be talking about more anime, of course.
Oh, yeah.
So, why don't I start us off here?
Yes.
Okay. So, if you listen to this podcast, I'm sure you're familiar with Studio Trigger's work. A lot of them are former Gainax alumni. They've worked on Evangelion, they worked on Gurren Lagann, some of them have worked on Fooly Cooly, and they've also done Kill la Kill, and Space Cop Luluco, and Inferno Cop.
Oh yeah, like all of the weird animes that are weirdly popular and usually the center of many hentai.
Yes, usually. And now we have something that, well, it's called Darling in the Franxx, and that's Darling in the Franxx.
Darling in the Franxx, the Franxx spelled with 2 X's at the end of it, because it is edgy as fuck.
So, there's only 2 episodes out right now, and we watched both of them in succession.
Yes, and of course this is as we're recording it, which the next episode comes out on Saturday.
Yeah, so
probably when this comes out, the 3rd episode will be out, and we will be able to really identify whether or not we hate this anime or love it to pieces.
So, the whole thing is basically like this giant analogy for sex and just intimacy, isn't it?
And erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, like, okay, like, I feel a trend coming on with, like, you know, the 2018 anime coming out, except for Pop Team Epic, which is in its own nice little category.
You know.
But we've had Devilman, which is obsessed with sex.
Yeah.
And now we have Darling in the Franxx, which is just an allegory for sex.
Yes.
So
you were peeking the mic there, bro.
I know, but it's a condenser mic. It's fine.
Okay.
Anyway, so basically, in this world, there are monsters, kind of like Pacific Rim. They come around every once in a while, and we combat them with giant robots.
Now, you're explaining this almost as if, like, this is obvious, and it's really not.
No.
I pretty much spent the first 2 episodes going, what the fuck? Why? What is this going on? Basically, they jump you right into it.
I need you to know, I've gone deep.
Okay, so he looked up the Wikipedia.
Oh, no, I didn't look at the Wikipedia. I just watched a lot of Evangelion.
Okay, but also he read the Wikipedia to give him a little bit more of an idea of what's going on. Because I think you would really need to...
I really wish I could say that I've read the Wikipedia. I've honestly not.
Okay, but the thing is that as someone who is not an avid Evangelion weeb,
yes.
I pretty much spent these first 2 episodes pretty much shouting at the screen because nothing made sense, and they really jump you right into the middle of it. And, you know, sometimes I feel like when you watch the first episode of an anime or any show, and you just get this feeling that you're like, man, I wish they would stop world building already and just get to the good part. This is the opposite, where I'm just like, could they just give me a little bit more world building? It's like Overwatch. Give me lore, please.
So
I would like some lore.
Kind of finishing up the plot for, people who want to know.
Yeah.
Basically, like, again, monsters happen, we fight with giant robots. Now, basically, these giant robots are piloted by a pair of humans.
And they're always male and female, according to the narration.
Yes, so they're always male and female. And the female basically gets into a plug suit, like Beba. It's very technical, and then after that, once they're both in the cockpit, the girl gets on all fours into, well, the doggy position.
Yep.
And then controls come up from her butt cheeks.
They're like on her hips.
Yeah.
And then the male sits in the cockpit seat and grabs the handles. And yeah, so like it's...
Oh god, I just got the the cockpit.
Yeah, so yeah. Well, we get introduced to our protag hero, literally named Hero.
Yes.
And he is he's failed to be the pilot. He can't get it up. He literally can't get up. And so he's failing. But then also there's second protag, obviously the female with the pink hair and demon horns, because of course she does.
Of course.
She's weird and creepy and cuckoo and all sorts of ways that gets you turned on because you're that kind of person, and that's the reason you're watching this anime. And so one of these monsters comes out of the ground. It kills both of their
pair.
Their pairs. Yeah, so Hero's girl gets destroyed, like, gets fucking wrecked. And the Gundam that the pink-haired girl was piloting, she's called 02, gets wrecked, and her co-pilot dies as well. And so then in this crazy happenstance, they're just like, well, I'll pilot with you. And so then they kiss, and then
everything goes white for him.
Yeah, but here's where the real kicker of this anime comes in. It's not just a Gundam, and it's not just any robot that they're piloting. The robot with these two transforms into a moe girl robot.
Yep.
Like tits, skirts, and anime cute girl eyes, and their own anime girl moe voices. I shit you not, I stood up and I shouted, no, why are they moe? Why the fuck are they moe, Joe?
Now, as you know, this is Studio Trigger. And the way I like to kind of think about this anime, because obviously, you have a lot of Gurren Lagann, alumni coming into this.
Yes.
This is the girl version of Gurren Lagann, because, Gurren Lagann was just manly robots.
Girl in Lagann.
So anyway, so that happens, and then, Hero basically gets ejected out from the cockpit after the battle's over, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I piloted it! I did that! Yeah! And it's all, he keeps bringing this up, how he had to have been the pilot. And then he gets into, a test fight with, some other girl who's, totally after his dick.
Oh my god, she wants his dick so bad, and it's just like, girl, get someone better.
And then it's it turns out he can't pilot with her. And this entire time, it's kind of leading up to this moment where it's like, are you sure you're the pilot?
Yeah, so as we were watching this, both of us were getting the this is too straight for us vibes, because if you are new to this podcast, we are gay.
We're gay.
We are very, very gay. So basically, we were watching this, and this whole concept of the male and female counterparts to this Gundam is just very hetero, and we are not for that. But there's this whole subversion thing that we're both sensing, that he's not the actual pilot, and that in fact he is in the typical feminine role. And well, let's just be real here. 02, the hot pink-haired chick, is the dom. It is serious femdom vibes that we are getting, and we are here for that. Joe and I are both here for that. If that's what they give us, because the entire episode 2 was a lead up to that idea, and then it just goes straight to the credits, and we never actually find out what's going on.
It's edging us.
It's edging us. It is literally taking control of our orgasm, and this is the thing. This is what worries me, is that we're building up to this.
Yes.
But they could very well, because this is Studio Trigger. Yes. They're good about just throwing you for a fucking loop. It could be that she is the pilot. But no, they could also cut to episode 3 and no, he's actually the pilot. He just has a thing for power bottoms or something like that. You know, like it could totally just lie flat. It could just die off and be so uninteresting. Or it could be the most interesting thing where she's the femme and, you know, she's the femdom and, you know, he's the bottom and, you know, maybe something else happens and he dies and, like, the other girl comes into place and then it's just lesbians. You know, it, like, so many cool, interesting things could happen.
There's so many cool and interesting things that could happen with this, and because it's Studio Trigger, it's like I'm waiting for this, like, you know, moment where it just turns it on its head. It has to.
But it also might not.
It might not be.
And that's really, this is why we've only seen 2 episodes of it, and this 3rd episode will hopefully establish whether we hate this anime or whether it is my favorite anime of 2018.
Just, oh my god. So, overall, I would say it's okay. So, speaking from the perspective of someone who is a giant fucking weeb, this is my shit. Like, this, like, the moment I saw, like, just, you know, it was Studio Trigger and I saw the art, I was like, this my shit. I'm gonna watch this. I can completely understand if somebody from the outside looked at this and like, what the fuck is this? And just never watches it.
I mean, that's the thing, is that I am not that kind of person. And so I spent these last 2 episodes pretty much shouting what the fuck. So I have to say that it's definitely worth watching as far as we have seen. These first 2 episodes have been interesting. They definitely were a trip.
Yes.
And I might consider this at least a high recommend of anime to watch this season.
Yeah. I would say it's definitely one of those anime to, like, just keep an eye on and just kind of, like, you know, make sure, like, maybe it gonna be good. Maybe. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
The man who did not grow up in New York City.
Yes.
You watched Seinfeld for the first time.
Yes. So let me preface this. I am from many places, but not New York.
No.
Not New York like Joe has been.
Yeah.
And I grew up watching pretty much exclusively Cartoon Network and Food Network.
Yeah.
That
was you.
Yeah. Not a surprise, right?
Nah.
So I never really got into sitcoms. In fact, I knew from an early age that sitcoms were usually not funny. And then in about middle school to high school is when, like, you know, Big Bang Theory happened.
Oh, yeah.
And I pretty much at that point had sworn off, no, sitcoms are terrible. Everything about these generic plots are terrible. I do not care about sitcoms. I hate them. So I'd never seen Seinfeld. I didn't know any of the Seinfeld references because I was never interested in watching this genre of television.
Right.
And I'm also not a big person on watching television to begin with. I don't even have a Netflix account. I mean, we use our roommate's Netflix account, but, like, I barely use it, basically.
Right.
It's because I am more interested in watching live streams and YouTube, and I just never really got into watching television. But Joe, you are a huge Seinfeld fan.
I would say I'm a huge Seinfeld fan. So here's my whole thing. Seinfeld for me is nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
One, because it basically, like, ended before I could really, like, take in that sort of TV. Like, it went from, like, 1990 to 1998.
Yeah.
So around that time, I was, like, 6, so I wasn't watching sitcoms. It happened more when I was, like, a teenager, like, 13. And basically, like, back in New York, like, we had Fox 5. And at 11 o'clock, because I would stay up until then.
Because you felt so edgy and cool staying up till 11 o'clock.
No, it's not that. I had insomnia.
Oh.
But anyway, so, like, I would stay up until then. And basically, like, you know, I would try to leave the TV on to fall asleep. And there wasn't, like, it's like if I left Adult Swim on, I know I would watch it.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, nah, I can't leave this on. I had to put on Fox 5 because it has, like, a stupid sitcom that I don't care about. And then it grew on me. So at 11 o'clock, Seinfeld would come on, and it was...
Boom, 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 boom.
It was like this... It was the syndicated version, and I just started watching it, and it grew on me. And it became such a foundation for a lot of my humor.
Yeah.
And George Costanza became, like, this... Like, I don't know, I feel like it was, like, this imprinted blueprint of just, like, here's the picture of anxiety.
Yeah. Well, and so I should say that the sitcom itself is the foundation for your humor. Because certainly the foundation for your humor is not Seinfeld himself.
Oh, God, no.
And so this is the thing, that I definitely did not get the appeal to a lot of people about the Seinfeld show, because I knew Seinfeld's comedy.
Yeah.
He made the B-movie.
That he did.
Like, you can't tell me that is... It's funny because it's a reference point for a meme.
Yeah.
Anything that Seinfeld says in that movie is terrible and stupid, and this man should be ashamed of himself for his comedy. It's not funny. His stand-up comedy's not funny. I don't like it. And so, the fact that Seinfeld sitcom sprinkles in his stand-up is just, like, not cool. But you know what? When he has a group of writers behind him and other people to write the jokes for the other people in the show, it's hilarious.
Like, oh my god, because we start off with season 2, because of course, if you're gonna watch any sitcom ever, you go straight to season 2.
Well, and this is, so the one thing that I have really watched, well, besides, like, so, like, I've watched, like, Office and
Yes.
30 Rock and, you know, some of those other things, Community. With the exception of Community, I feel like, just skip the first season.
Yeah.
Like, most, like, and anyone can tell you, anyone who's watched 30 Rock knows, skip season 1, it's not worth it, just go straight into season 2.
Yes.
Don't worry yourself with that embarrassment. So that's what I'm used to, is just, like, first season is where they're trying to figure out what the script is. They're trying to figure out what the flow is for this show.
Right.
Skip it, move on to the second one, unless it's some sort of drama genre show. And so I'm just like, let's skip to season 2, and it's really funny.
So, like, the other thing we should probably talk about is, one, like, some of our favorite parts so far.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was, oh my god, so this was, like, the season where they introduced, like, the fucking suede jacket.
Oh, yeah. So I have feelings about the suede jacket, because because that's me. I had a suede jacket moment, except instead of, like, $800, this...
No, it was like 1,000.
Yeah, except for a jacket that was $1,000, it was an actual leather jacket at Zara that was $80, and I could do that to myself because I'm fucking worth it. It is a good-ass fucking leather jacket, though.
But, God, it's like, you know, you had wonderful moments like that. You have wonderful moments like just George Costanza being George Costanza.
Which, George Costanza is your dad.
He really is my dad.
Like, I watch this sitcom, and I'm just like, You know, George Costanza is, like, exactly how your dad acts.
He really is.
like, you're like, when they bring up when they do the suede jacket bit,
yeah,
and Jerry is wearing it, and George comes in, and he's like, how much did you spend on it? Don't tell me anything. And he just starts, like, raising the number, and it just goes further and further up as Jerry says nothing. He's like, I swear to God, I'm walking out this door right, and I'm like, I'm just imagining Joe's father doing this same exact thing to Joe. And I'm just like, I could see it. I could legitimately see it.
Just like, how much did you spend on those shoes? How much?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But that's the thing I think I love about George Costanza's character.
Yeah.
Is that it's so relatable.
Yeah.
It's so all of the characters in Seinfeld are terrible people. Jerry is kind of apathetic to most people's living situations. He's self-centered. George Costanza is an anxiety ball who goes on the anxiety that goes unchecked.
Yes.
Kramer is all sorts of asshole and a pushover.
Yeah.
And Elaine is like psychotic at least. And so each character is terrible in their own right, but George Costanza is the most relatable kind of terrible.
Yeah.
It's when you have no anti-anxiety or depression medication running through your system, and your anxiety is just not on check. Like, it is just going full ham, and you are just on this wild ride. That's George Costanza.
When he fucking quits his job.
When he quits his job, and then he tries to go into work, who is it, Kramer told him to just walk right in and act like he's still there? Like,
no, that was Jerry.
That was Jerry, yeah. Jerry's just like, just walk in and pretend like you never actually quit. Like, just do it. And so he just walking in, and, like, you can see, like, the anxiety in his entire body all tensed up, just like, hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm real funny. And, yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's that is so relatable on so many levels. Not that I would actually quit my job like that, but just that he tries to play off his mistakes.
Oh my God.
In the ways that you
I didn't have a nervous breakdown. What are you talking about?
What? My eyes? No, my eyes are always just red. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, and I guess, so what is your favorite character besides George Costanza?
I like Kramer.
You like Kramer? I hate Kramer.
I like Kramer because he is this agent of chaos.
He is chaotic neutral.
He is so chaotic neutral. And just, like, he just instigates these horrible situations that happens.
Is every D&D character you've ever made just Kramer?
No, it's mostly like Deadpool with a little bit of Kramer.
I figured it out now. I've cracked the code.
It's like every D&D character I want to play as is just busting through the door like, hey, how's it going?
Oh, God. No, see, what I hate what I don't like about Kramer is that I know this kind of person that, like, so the episode where Jerry found out that one of the apartments is available to rent and for really cheap, and he's like, Elaine, you can move in, and then he's like, oh no, this is such a bad idea, why did I do this, why is my ex-girlfriend moving into my apartment? And then, like, the rent's raised, and, like, she has to come up with, like, $5,000 or something. And Kramer's like, Jerry can give you the money. Jerry can give you, right, Jerry? Right, Jerry, you're gonna give her the money, right? And, like, that kind of person I've experienced in my life, and I hate that. So it's just, like, Kramer is relatable in the way that this is a person that I've actually wanted to punch in the face before.
Oh my God.
But besides those two characters, I have to say, Elaine is my fave.
Elaine's your fave?
God, she's so fucking crazy. She She's so fucking crazy, Joe.
I know.
And just and the look on her face when like she knows that she's done the bad, but she just smiles at you, or smiles at Jerry or smiles at Kramer. I love that. I love that about her. Like the episode where her and Jerry try to have a kind of fuck buddies relationship.
Yeah.
And it kind of ends with like her walking out and into like the living room with like just Jerry's shirt on.
Yep.
And she just like looks up and like, what are you gonna do? I'm crazy. And I'm just like, I love that. I love that, and I love her.
So point is that we're gonna have to watch more at some point.
Yes, we will.
And
I gotta get caught up on all of the references that I have missed in my life.
And in particular, like the one reference that is perhaps my favorite is always gonna be the Frogger one.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Joe showed me that, and I'm just like, wow, this is exactly why Joe loves this.
So, considering that we've done the most relevant thing that we could possibly do, a sitcom from the 1990s.
Yeah.
A sitcom that's over 20 years old now.
Yeah. Way to make us feel old, right, Joe?
Yeah, you know. Let's go ahead and discuss something a little bit more, I guess, relevant. We're gonna go ahead and discuss food.
Yes. So, we went to Taco Bell. Because a little birdie on the internet, mainly the entirety of Twitter, told me that nacho fries were finally here.
Oh my god.
So, Taco Bell likes to come up with random and genius things. Ever since the Doritos Locos Taco, they've been innovating in ways that we never thought should have been done, but we were glad that they were.
I'm not sure if I was glad.
Oh, I'm glad. I am glad.
Okay.
Well, so nacho fries were in test markets for a long time, mainly in Canada, I think. You know,
in Canada, in like some parts of California, DC was one of them.
DC, yeah.
Yeah.
So this had always been a thing that had been flying around, rumors, pictures. Everyone knew that they existed.
Yes.
But today was finally the day that they were public.
Oh.
And so we waited in the drive-thru line for like 30 minutes.
Like, it was way more packed than I was expecting for nacho fries.
The poor people working back there looked very frazzled.
They did not look like they were happy. So we went there, and as you know, like, Taco Bell has made the naked chicken taco, which is basically just a fried chicken cutlet with some veggies in there.
Yep.
And then they had the naked chicken chips, which was basically their version of the McNuggets, but then they added cheese sauce with a bit of spicy breading, and they're like, here you go, buddy. And then I was like, I can't believe I'm going to have a heart attack when I'm 40.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is that I was obsessed with the naked chicken chips, because I am a slut for chicken nuggets. Everyone, whoever knows me knows this. I can eat an entire platter of Chick-fil-A nuggets.
You can.
I can. I love, and I actually found the perfect replacement for naked chicken chips while they are off market.
What?
It's Wawa chicken tenders dipped in cheese sauce. Because it's got that same spicy breading.
Oh, no. You didn't need to tell me that.
Oh, but I did.
Oh.
Because you know what I can get at Wawa?
I don't want to.
Diet Dr. Pepper. I can get Diet Dr. Pepper, chicken nuggies, and cheese sauce all at Wawa. It's a dream come true. Wawa is the best thing ever invented. So anyway, we love ourselves some terrible munchies food. And so we got these nacho fries, which are truly the innovation that every gamer did not need in their caloric-filled lives.
Didn't need it.
All of our arteries are now clogged forever.
Okay, so the taste of these nacho fries is basically the equivalent of the naked chicken chips, which, again, it didn't need to exist. It doesn't need to. It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous, Sam. It tastes too good.
That's the thing, is that Joe talks about the naked chicken taco, about how his first bite, he instantly regretted it. Not because it was disgusting. Oh no, it was because it was delicious.
It was so good.
And he was gonna order it again and again and again.
And I just knew, like, every time I did, I was shaving off 5 years of my lifespan.
You can't undo that flavor of explosion.
No, you can't. You can't undo that visit to Flavor Town. Like, you went ahead and you were just like, I'm gonna jump in Guy Fieri's car right now. Go ahead and spike up my hair. Give me some bleach. I'm all ready to go, baby. And I kept going until they got rid of it. And once they did, I sat there and I was like, the Lord has freed me from this curse. Thank you, Jesus Christ. And then they brought the naked chicken chips. I was like, why, God? Why?
And then it was my turn to be like, oh God. Because the taco, it was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
yeah.
But it didn't really spark my interest. Like, literally giving me chicken nuggets and giving me cheese sauce and telling me to combine the two. And I'm like, I didn't know you could put these two together. Thank you, Taco Bell. Like, it never crossed my mind because I'm always used to chicken nuggets and ranch. Like, that's how I lived my life for the last 23 years, was just ranch with my nuggies. But then I could have nuggies and cheese sauce, and I'm like, my life has been changed forever, presumably for the worse.
Presumably. And now we have these nacho fries, which goes ahead and takes that same kind of spices and breading, and they're like, here's fries now, they're super crunchy if you don't get the supreme version, and that way you dunk them, and then you get the cheese sauce, and then you're like, fuck, damn it, God. And here's what I think it's all leading up to. Much like a trilogy, much like a movie trilogy, much like a Marvel movie franchise. They released the naked chicken taco first. They came out like, what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
Then after that, they released the fucking naked chicken chips. Now they got the fries. You know what's gonna happen? Like 3 months down the line from now, they're gonna get rid of the fries. And it's gonna come back like 3 months later, and it's gonna be all combined together in a $5 box, and that's it. Like, fucking heart attacks will just raise like 50% in America.
I mean, honestly, that's all I really want in my life, is to have fries and chicken nuggets and cheese sauce,
It's
and
like,
just eat that combination. And that's the one thing that Wawa can't give me, is fries.
it's like the Avengers of a coronary. God.
And I am here for it.
I will be here for it. Probably not for much longer.
Actually, you know what I think it is? I think it's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Then what's the 4th? We only have 3.
It's the cheese sauce.
Oh, no, you're right.
It's the original dark horse, the cheese sauce. The original horseman was the cheese sauce, and then the taco and the nuggets and the fries are the other 3. Really, this is the apocalypse. We just now need to combine all 4 into I would say trifecta. Quadfecta.
A quadfecta.
Quadfecta is that word? I don't know.
So that has been our experience with this. As you can see, Em is more than happy to walk into hell. Me, on the other hand, I am crying while also running headfirst into hell.
I will walk into hell backwards with both middle fingers up.
So, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about this news.
Going into hell in 3D.
Oh, yes. So
shall I kind of explain something?
Yeah.
So, I am a horror RPG fucking nerd.
Yeah.
I love every horror RPG maker game that has ever come out. They're all beautiful and I love them. But there's kind of the original horror. The original horror, and it wasn't really even much of an RPG. It was just an experience. It was Yume, Nikki, or Dream Diary, was something that I had played. I can't remember how old I was when I played it, but I was much younger, and had no idea what to expect, other than this was the game to play among my friends, and I played it in the dark.
Yeah, you did.
And I remember not sleeping after that. Because Yume Nikki stars a young girl. We don't really have a name for her.
No.
And she's basically a shut-in. She's locked in her apartment, and the only thing that she really does is go to sleep. And when she sleeps, she has very vivid, lucid dreams.
Yeah.
Particularly about a set of doors, and in each door there is a whole nother world of psychedelic and surrealist landscapes full of various monsters and eldritch horrors kind of thing.
Yeah.
Things that may be harmless, things that may follow her, and there's a lot of interpretations of Yume Nikki, and a lot of speculation, and a lot of stories that people have come up for this game. But basically, it's just a really beautiful, surrealist game that really knows how to create psychological horror, with a few jump scares, but honestly not the same kind of jump scare that I think we're used to in a horror game. There's a few jump scares here and there scattered throughout the game, but it's really more of this, you experience psychosis, basically. Yes. And that's really the premise. And the main actual gameplay is that you were searching for a specific item in each of the doorways. And I believe it was cause I never was able to get to the end because it's very difficult to get through that, especially as a kid.
Yeah.
But basically to, in a sense, free her of these dreams, though I think that's a little bit more up to interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing could be looked at as an allegory for depression and suicidal tendencies.
Yes. Yeah, so there's a lot of... Yeah, well, and especially when you get to... certain items are much more telling than others.
Right.
But yes, it was such a beautiful game. It's really a surrealist work. It really, I think, really does kind of show... kind of the ideas of what it might feel like to have depression, anxiety, or some kind of other psychosis. Yeah. To maybe people who don't experience that. Certainly I experience that anxiety, and then my anxiety just goes full tilt when I start seeing one of those monsters running after me. Whew.
So, that being said, that whole wonderful synopsis you gave.
Yeah.
They're making a sequel.
I didn't know.
In 3D.
I didn't know. I mean, I had seen recently a few more Yume Nikki related fan arts circling the internet, and I had no idea why until you showed me the news article, and I screamed.
So it's releasing next month on Steam. It's called Dream Diary, just Dream Diary.
But it's a 3D version,
yes.
And it seems to be some sort of follow-up and not a 3D remake.
No.
So that's... So we've seen a few screenshots.
Yes.
But nothing else, which is very characteristic of Yume Nikki. It's not like we're getting a trailer or a synopsis. The creator's just gonna put this out here.
So... What's interesting about this game is that it wasn't really created by the creator. He was a supervisor. Mm-hmm. And basically the team worked on this game, and they had hit them. I actually don't know their gender or whatever. Mm-hmm. But they're actually just a supervisor, and they actually provided some documents and some notes about characters that they actually had planned to be in the game that they never really did. So that's what I read in the Destructoid article from there. Is that apparently they are going to add some elements that they just couldn't do in the original game. So,
which makes me wonder clearly what they're adding to the game are things that they could not implement in a 2D reality.
Right.
Which says something, because there is a lot put in that game. There's a lot of crazy monsters, a lot of crazy surrealist landscapes created. I really think that the creator of Yume Nikki really didn't see pixels as a restriction
No.
to their form of storytelling. So I'm interested to see what they've added in this 3D world and really what it's gonna be, and how terrified am I going to be to go to sleep at night.
Well, take a look at that. These like little bit of screenshots so far.
Mm-hmm.
The way I would like to describe it is like a vaporwave nightmare.
Yeah, well, I think you could probably say that Yume Nikki has some vaporwave tendencies.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, since your aesthetic is vaporwave, I guess we'll just, go out and say that. Vaporwave has a lot of psychedelic tendencies to it.
Yeah.
Very much, I think vaporwave strives for the aesthetic of looking like you have ingested weed brownies and also tripped on LSD at the same time.
Yeah. Just mellow out, dude.
You mellow out, but also see all the fucking colors of the universe.
So, overall, I'm excited to see this game. It's only coming out on Steam, so that means I hope it's a short game because I hate sitting in front of my PC anymore.
like I feel like both of us are having in our mind is like, so when's it coming to Switch, though?
When's it coming to the Switch? Which, by the way, Dead Cells is coming to the Switch.
Interesting.
I know! It's still in early access on Steam, but apparently it is going to be coming to Switch this year. And also, Owlboy's coming out on the Switch?
Interesting.
February 13th. Yep. And then Night in the Woods and all that fun stuff.
Yes. And I think at some point we'll have to do more Switch-related news just because both of us own Switches, so that way we don't have to take up each other's TV space.
You know? We could do that.
We could do that. But, for right now, Yume Nikki will not be on the Switch.
Yeah.
But maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday it will be so popular that Nintendo will be like, give us.
Give it to us.
Give us. We'll take care of it from here.
So anyway, that about does it for our second episode of Paragade After Hours.
Heck yeah.
So, where can we find you on the internet?
Maybe someday I will be more available on my Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube channels, all Malacology. I'll probably post links or whatever.
Okay. And then me, I can be found on Twitter at JustJoeLet'sPlay. On Twitch, I can be found at JustJoeStars. And, of course, you can find me on Paragade, sometimes writing articles, sometimes not. I also do reviews there. And then YouTube, it's Paragade, but I haven't really posted anything there yet. Mostly Twitch and Twitter. That's where you can find me. So, with that being said, as always, it's great to have you on the podcast.
Hey.
And always remember, tip your waiters 50%.
It's a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.